Adam here with Brooksaw Antiques. Today we have this 1970 Olympia SM9 vintage portable typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. Up top is the adjustable paper guide. This helps you guide the page in straight. I'm going to line that up with the edge of the platen, which is the main roller that feeds the paper. Margins are above that. You just squeeze and move it like that. I'm going to set this left one on 0 and the right one around 70-ish. That's about the length of a page. And this is the paper support arm that flips up from the back like a switchblade and telescopes up even higher. I'm just going to keep it at the lower height there. And this is the paper bale that sits on top. It's got 2 adjustable rollers and a scale. Once you hear the bell, you're at the end of the margin. You hit this line space, get you back to the beginning, and skips 1, 1.5, or 2 spaces. Right now we have it on single, but if you want 1.5, you just flip this switch down one. It skips 1.5. One more, it skips 2. That works good. We're going to keep that on single space and finish typing. As you can see, all the keys type nice and none of them skip or stick. I'll type a sentence in red on the next line and switch from black to red. There's a switch on the right side here. Flip it all the way down to that orange square. It prints the bottom portion of the ribbon. When you have it in the middle, it doesn't print any ink at all. It just leaves a stencil for copying purposes. When you have it up top, it prints the top portion of the ribbon, which is black. We're going to move that down for red. Absolutely beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the arguably best typewriter ever produced, also known as the Olympia, the Mercedes-Benz of typewriters. It has Elite 87 font, which comes in 12 CPI or 11. This is the 11 version, so 11 characters per inch. To pull the page out easy, there's a switch on the right side here. You flip it forward and it unlocks the rollers underneath the platen, allowing you to pull the page out easy or load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. So that second line, when I was going back up after doing the spacing, I just went up an extra line, which is a half a space. That's why you have a little bit of difference in that. It's not a problem with the machine. It was just the way I fed it back through. I just didn't feed it back through good enough, I guess. So I didn't skip that line. That's what happens when you have a half a space. You can get in between the lines basically and navigate your page a little bit more precise than full space. So we're going to put this down for now. Shift on each side, a shift lock on the left to clear that. Just hit the shift button again. Backspace on the right side of the keyboard works great. We're going to put that color back up to black for now. MR on the left stands for margin release. When you get to the end of the margin, there's a mechanism that blocks you from printing. Hit that margin release button. It allows you to go all the way to the end. That works good. Tab on the top right. And the difference between this and the SM8 is this has a tab set on the keyboard here. The SM8 has a manual tab set on the back that you actually have to manually go back there and change. So to clear the tabs, you just go to the tab that you want to clear and hit the minus button there. So I just push this lever down to the minus and it clears each one of those. It has a really good drag too, so you don't really have to worry too much about slamming all the way to the end. So it's pretty good drag. It's actually perfect. But I always do like to set one somewhere in the middle so that way when you hit that tab button, it doesn't go slamming all the way to the end, causing wear and tear in your typewriter. The hood opens up like a car hood, and all the brand new ribbons loaded on the left, so it's pulling to the right. And if you want to switch that direction, on the back side of either side, you just flip this little switch. So if you want it to come this way, you gotta flip this switch just like that, and then it'll pull counterclockwise to the left. Now you flip it on this side, and it pulls to the right, and that's the direction we want it to go. Oh, there's also touch control in there, so that's the difference between the SM8 and SM9 too. The touch control is located on the inside. I don't know if the SM8 has a touch control. Some of them might, but if they do, it's going to be like right here instead of inside. So the farther down you go, the more tension there is when you hit the keys. The farther up you go, the less tension. When it's on high tension, you do have to hit the keys a little harder for them to print. This already has a more heavier touch than the other luxury typewriters like the Olivetti 32 and the Hermes 3000. So I like to keep it just on low touch. So that's the main difference between when you're arguing about what's the best typewriter of all time. One of the downsides that people say is it just has a heavier touch. But the parts on this are the best you can get in the world. That's why they call it the Mercedes-Benz of typewriters. Just super good parts. This is probably the most durable typewriter you could buy of all time. And that's another reason why a lot of people love this, because it's just going to last forever and nothing bends on this thing because the metal is so strong. To activate the carriage release, it's on top here. Very smooth. It's got the no grind carriage return. Or you don't, like most typewriters, you hear the clicks of the escapement. This one you don't. Most luxury typewriters you don't. That's kind of how you know. If you pull out the knob here and turn the platen, it disables the spacing so you can get to an exact spot on the page. You let it go, you get the clicks. Each one of those clicks is a half a space. And if you flip this switch all the way back, it does the same thing, but you can't use the line space when you do that. So then you flip it forward to the 1, and then you get the clicks. And that's it. Now available on eBay or Etsy. Search Brooksaw Antiques.